This is the Wise Guys Podcast, radio on demand from WHORadio.com.
Recorded in December 2010.
153 here on News Radio 1040 WHO, or the WHO Radio Wise Guys. Oh, Dan, I was trying to keep my composure coming out of that break.
Yeah, I know you were.
Unfortunately, it just...
I'm glad I could not help you with that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 154. We're running out of time here on the Wise Guys. Ted in Waterloo texts us, "Yay, not preempted by East Maquoketa Children's Frisbee Golf today."
I love Ted in Waterloo.
Appreciate that, Ted. And I got to agree with the Turf Builder texting in that he's driving for FedEx near Des Moines and wondering why the DOT hasn't put down any sand on the slick roads. Yeah, it's bad. Now, I don't know if it was DOT, though, who was responsible for putting, I don't know what roads he's on. You know, they'd only be responsible for, like, the state highways.
Ted, go buy some, or not Ted, Turf Builder, go buy some sand and do it yourself, man.
He's doing the driving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that's all about. Dorothy in West Des Moines texts in to say that Facebook has designed a new profile, and why do they change things so frequently?
You know why? Here's why, Dorothy. Because they're run by a 26-year-old that doesn't know what he's doing.
I really don't have a lot more to add to that one. That's pretty much about it.
Did you see the interview with him on, was it 60 Minutes last weekend?
Yeah, I think that was what he was on, when he revealed the new profile thingy.
Which, by the way, the new profile thing doesn't bother me, but they need to... Okay, it's like an operating system. Mm-hmm. One major update a year is good enough. Mm-hmm. Facebook tends to do 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. And, again, the 26-year-old... Did you see the movie about him?
No, I don't feel like I watch it. The Social Network.
Yeah. I swear, he's not much... I'm not going to say that. He'll come after me.
That'll be fine. Yeah, he'll find a way to hunt you down.
He will. He'll take me off.
I saw a great article, actually, a great column by a guy named Charlie Brooker. He's a columnist who lives in England and does some funny stuff. And one of the things that he said was...
Oh, yeah, I know him.
You do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I'll post a link to this at WHORadio.com. Okay. What his comment was is that between WikiLeaks and Facebook... pretty much within 5 or 10 years, everybody's going to have a naked picture of themselves somewhere on the internet. So take a good picture of yourself now and just release it now.
I can't tell you how hard. I cannot begin to tell you how hard and how often I work at keeping naked pictures of me off the internet. You know, Dan, there are so many of them out there. It's just so disturbing.
I will agree with you, and I will do my best to keep naked pictures of you off the internet,
my college career alone is going to keep me from running for political office.
Well, that's the thing. You know, between the fact that everybody's going to have something out there, you're going to have to be a complete psychopath in about 10 or 15 years if there's not something compromising about you somewhere on the internet.
My kids know information about me that will keep me out of political office, okay?
I bet. So with the question that Dorothy had, why do they change it? Because they feel like they have to try to stay ahead of somebody else coming in and taking over their turf. And
who else is even close to that, though?
Nobody right now, but I guarantee you. I
know there are people working on it.
By 2015, Facebook is going to be pushed aside, just like MySpace was, just like previous to that, Angel Fire was, and GeoCities, and just like prior to that, CompuServe, and Prodigy, and all of those were pushed aside. Those have all been pushed aside over time, so will Facebook.
Pets.com.
Pets.com.
Well, they weren't pushed aside. They were just dumb.
And the thing is, you cannot maintain a sustainable competitive advantage here. Either you have to constantly be producing something new to keep the people who are experienced with it okay and interested, or you have to keep it stable so that the people who don't want to have to learn something new every 6 weeks will stick with you.
Yeah.
You can't do both. Yeah. You can't appease both groups at the same time. It's impossible. Google's been messing with this too. They've been changing the way their results are posted, and it's the same thing.
It's driving me nuts.
You can't appease everybody, and on the internet, every other option is just a click away.
They're not making smart decisions, and we're talking about Google and their decision-making process. They came out with the Nexus One phone here back in January. It was almost a year ago, and it didn't do well.
No,
okay, it didn't. They sold some of them, but it didn't do too great. I mean, when you compare it to any other Android phone out there and the iPhone and everything, it didn't do great. And the head people at the Google's Android mobile operating division or whatever say that all they're saying is we just feel that we bit off a little more than we could chew with the Nexus One phone.
Mm-hmm. Because essentially,
I think that's the worst excuse I've ever heard for a product that didn't do well. You know why the Nexus One didn't do well? Because they sold it unlocked for $500 and some odd dollars. Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's why your phone didn't sell well, Google. You couldn't walk into a store anywhere and buy the thing.
No.
You couldn't even go look at it. You had to buy it online.
People
want to see it and feel it and touch it. I'm exactly that way.
Because my phone is, in fact, if I remember correctly, this is, in fact, the Nexus 1 just kind of tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
This is essentially...
You have an HTC Desire.
Yeah.
Did you desire that phone, Brian?
I didn't want it because it doesn't have the tactile keyboard that I like so much. But you know what? I can't even get them much anymore, and it drives me insane.
You could have gotten the Droid, too.
Yeah, that thing was so big.
That's a Verizon phone, though.
Yeah, that's
I love it.
I don't want to mess with it. We are out of time.
Wow, that was fast.
Rip off. You know what that means? We're going to have to do a little extension action here.
We are. We're going to do a short little video when we get done with our program today, and we're going to put it up on our website. So you can go to Radio Wise Guys. What's our website again?
Well, you can go to RadioWiseGuys.com or WHORadio.com to the Wise Guys page. It's the same place.
It's the same place, yeah. But we'll do that. We're going to put up a little video here, and you can come check it out later this afternoon.
Something like that.
All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. The Radio Wise Guys are back on the air. We'll be back next week for our last show of the year.
Oh!
We'll do all that
was
and
me getting
more.
excited.
Taking your calls, answering your questions, all the trends, tips, and technology you can handle. Thanks for listening. This is News Radio 1040 WHO.
The WHO Radio Wise Guys are heard every Saturday at noon on News Radio 1040 WHO. On the air at 1040 a.m. and online at WHORadio.com.